Like it's, weird scientist or whatever.
That's not
And
true.
I'm
You
like,
look
why would people do that to hat wearers? And so me and my compadre across from me, who, walked in like this with his hat backwards, right? Like I understand that, right? Like this is the formal way to wear a freaking hat. If you want to get people to not make you remove your hat, wear it like a, come on, this is the way you're supposed to wear
I
it.
don't
And
know what you were talking about, but I heard you got violated and
I did,
it broke
man. We
out.
went to this freaking steakhouse last night and met up with this um it was supposed to be an investor that now turned into an investment. I love how that happens. I got money, but guess what? I need more of yours.
There you go. That's
So
awesome.
it's always good stuff like that, man. Always good stuff. Oh, good morning. I see a bunch of people coming in. We're gonna get rolling out, man. A lot to go over today. One of the things we're gonna do, we're gonna make a live call real quick. Of course, always running into new stuff.
Right.
Even right before the show. I'll get into it real quick. Um,
Yeah, I got to jump off at 12:30 for a call, but wanted to say, so you guys got some rest finally.
yeah, yeah, no. Oh my God. Yesterday, Catherine, you want to go into yesterday a little bit?
Yesterday was the longest frickin' day ever. I think the alarm went off at like 2:30 in the morning and literally like we're going hard until 10 o'clock last night. So yeah, passed out. It was a very, very long. It was fun. It's all the fun things, and here's what's interesting about it is I my whole motto is that we leave every person, property, and community better than we found them, which is really important to me. And yesterday we were at through one of my business partners called, said this investor meeting is happening. You need to be there. So some people you just like, okay, figure it out as we go. And so we went, and it was actually a really good event. I'm glad that we went. And turns out that I'd actually spoke with several of the people who were there, like previously, like years ago, and don't remember all the details to the conversations. Um, Vaguely remember, the person and stuff. But what's interesting is that, again, inside of leaving every person, property, and community better than I found them, what I knew from the conversations is I had definitely left them better than I found them. And they had shared that once again, I usually do two things. I'll make you cry or I'll give you homework. And so I gave them both homework and they had shared how that homework like made a huge impact on their lives. So that's how they're remembering me. But they were grateful for it. So that was really cool. So again, teaching these younger generations like your reputation precedes you, and how we make people won't remember what you said, what you did, but they will remember how you made them feel. And so yesterday was just a brilliant reminder of that, in how I had made people feel like literally 3 4 years ago, and that was the memory they were left with.
That's good.
So relationships are everything, which is super important. So yeah, yesterday was crazy, it was fun. I have videos. We're literally in the middle of the desert playing pickleball. Like nothing, nothing, no electricity, like literally in the middle of
There was water.
nowhere.
Wait a minute,
Like
back up. Hold, you make it
we
sound like
had to
a you
be
make it
like
sound like a
four-wheel
B-rated horror
drive,
flick.
four-wheel drive into this place. I couldn't even take my car, right? Like literally four-wheel drive. Like I thought maybe that's why I'm not feeling so well. I got whiplash. Um, it was so brutal. Like the seatbelt, I had to keep like holding it
Oh
out
my
because it
God.
was like rubbing so hard. I mean, it was intense. Like if we hadn't been like harnessed in, like I would have been
What?
bounced off
Harnessed
that car.
in? Are you really using
Harnessed
these
in,
words
yeah.
right now?
It was intense. And
Harnessed in?
literally
That's
in the middle
hilarious.
of nowhere, and then there's a pickleball court. Like this is one of those things that in a
Awesome.
hundred years from now, somebody's gonna be like, if nothing gets built out there, they're gonna be like,
Yeah,
what?
well,
Why is there a pickleball court literally in the middle of nowhere
we're
in the
gonna get into
desert?
that. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. I wanna it's we're 2 minutes past kickoff. I want to call this land deal, and so I'm gonna share the screen real quick.
Okay.
Um, and uh, and we'll let you run rampant later. I don't know who was just in here a minute ago, but he dipped away. I don't know. Come back in a little bit. We'll do some introductions after I make this call. Um, but let's see here. I'm gonna pull up the info that I've already got in Deal Hunter, and then I'm gonna tag this guy's phone number right there. And so basically what it is there was this ad I found this morning, Facebook, one bed, one bath house. It's not a house, it's a vacant lot. You can see that there's a house, it's pointing at a house, but it's because they got it on Facebook Marketplace. You got to point at something. And then his ad or description right here, land for sale, right? I'm like, okay, cool. I know the area very well. Looking at the map, it said that it was on Rio Verde Drive. And the fact that it says inside the ad that there's a build spec, that there's a well and utilities right at the property. Okay, property has the established well part. Water, remember what we said about dirt yesterday, water, well, uh, whatever, wet, dry utilities and access. You got to have these things in order for it to work out. So it sounds like these all have that looking at the picture. And so I said, run this deal, put it in there, run this deal. Conditional, do not pay 300K yet. We need to know XYZ. Uh, it says, we need to get, initial verdict is to find out the exact zonage, get the legal, get ownership, get like just due diligence. It wants me to do the due diligence. So, assuming that we build a 2,500 square foot house on the lien case, we're looking at spending about 1.5. This number right here scares the crap out of me. And this is why I built free estimates, because Deal Hunter thinks like a freaking investor. And that's what an investor complains about. They're like, I got to spend this amount of money. Well, yeah, you do. If you're not doing any of the work, yeah, you do. But guess what? Guess what? We do the work, right? So we don't have to really spend that amount of money. So putting all this together out there, the reason why it's like, hey, make sure you're paying attention is because out there, the ARV on that road might only be, a couple $1 million, 2.5, 2.8, depending on what you build, right? So there is a bit of a margin there, but we got to call the guy and find out. So let's do that real quick. And this is why Deal Hunter gives us the opportunity to call, because this is live in action opportunity. I don't know if you guys can hear. It says transfer to PC. We'll do that. Can you guys hear that?
No.
We're not hearing anything.
Good morning.
Are you plan on building a house there? Are you a builder or
Yeah,
investment?
I'm an investor and we build spec houses. So I was trying to find out a little bit more about that piece you got there on Facebook.
Yeah, so I'm the owner. Been trying to sell it without realtors, so I just don't want to pay realtors for anything. I mean,
Right, right, understood.
yeah. So I don't know if you're familiar with the Rio Verde foothills.
Yeah, yeah,
It is. It is west of 144th, which is the after that is considered floodplain.
right.
It's the whole way down.
Got it.
So it's in non-floodplain. There is a wash running through it in the front corner section. I mean, it's nothing crazy. So that would just be obviously, moving earth around to have that, I
Right.
don't build out there. I'm in Chicago. I build out here. I bought the property. I was going to build a house out there for us, but I changed my mind. So that's why it's listed.
What part of Chicago?
I'm in St. Charles, so I'm just 45
Holy
minutes
shit.
to west of downtown. Yeah.
Wow. That's great. Just small world. My dad and I built St. Charles 35 years ago.
Gotcha.
So we were builders and shit. I went to school in Lockport, went to school in Joliet area right there. And then Yeah, and then my dad passed away in 2024, but I've been in Arizona for over a decade, been building out here for better part of the last 6 years, just doing custom homes, just like we did back then, back there, in St. Charles and Gurnee. We did a lot of work up there. We did a lot of work out in Arlington Heights, Hoffman Estates. Like we built all that shit. So
Oh,
anything with balloon walls, the 45-foot balloon walls, 60-foot balloon walls, you got the 4 stories from the walkout basement to the fourth story out the mantle roof in the back. That was the shit me and my old man used to do.
heck yeah. Well, that's cool, man.
So, but yeah, no, so tell, on this piece here, all I really need is the APN number. I do a bit of due diligence on it before I get crazy. I'll just complete transparency. We're looking for something to do spec build on. Probably gonna be looking to close, not real, like, I'm not looking to close in the next 10 or 15 days. If you're in a hurry to get money, I gotta move on. But I do a full set of due diligence and figure out what we can put there. And once we understand that it's gonna pencil, we're able to close quick and in cash. So I'm not gonna bullshit you around about like, creative financing and all that stuff, but if you want to, we can. But at the end of the day, like I just need to know that I can build a house there and that when I sell it, it's gonna make us all money.
Yeah, like talking to another builder that is interested in it too. Blue Sky out there.
Careful, careful. Go look at his son. He buys property and then he sits on it. He's a land banker. So
I said, dude,
he's a land banker. Yeah,
well, that's bottom dollar.
yeah,
You could build a. Well, the other thing is he doesn't realize I build commercial construction out here. I don't do residential. It's all commercial.
yeah.
Starbucks, Jimmy John's, I build for them.
Got it.
And I said, I go for a home. I was like, I could go all in and build a fucking unreal house for probably 700,000. So I said, even if you buy this at what my list price is, I go, you're a mill in. I go, the houses on that street right now are 1.1 to 1.5. I
Right,
go, so if you strategically place yourself, you're gonna get anybody in that range. So there's money to be made.
right,
I go, and if you get on the higher end, which like the house that's directly across is kind of what I was thinking that's there. It's probably 25 or 3,000 square foot. And it's got a 2-car deep garage, like probably double deep. And then on the side of it, still built in with the house, is a massive garage. I'd say it's probably 22 by 60 for
RV garage.
RV to go in it.
Yeah, the RV garage.
Yeah. So it's a pretty sweet looking setup that I saw, and I was like, oh man, I was kind of thinking that would have been a good idea to do, but I'm like, oh, I haven't done anything, and I keep getting more and more in bed with clients up here, so I'm like, can't just get away.
Yeah, I know. Well, when the pipeline's flowing, brother, you definitely don't want to hit the shutoff valve to go do something stupid. So,
So I'll send you the parcel number because that's what you're going to need, right? To
yeah.
look up a bunch of stuff.
I need the parcel ID number and then we can kind of roll through it, figure out what we got to go from there on.
That sounds good. And then I'm not in a rush. I mean, I'm, not at all. I mean, unless somebody's like, here, I can get it done, and they show me the money. But I would still be upfront with anybody that I've talked to that is a serious inquiry. Like, listen, I'm still going to go down the line.
Yeah.
I'm not going to deal with Blue Sky because he's already like, well, we pay for bottom dollar, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to sell it to you, so you have. Almost 100 plus thousand that you can totally get out of the land because I sat on it for a number of years.
Well, what's crazy is he has me come out and estimate it because I'm a developer. He has me come out and estimate it for the subdivision and all that stuff, and then he doesn't do shit with it and says, "Oh, I'm not ready yet." But when somebody wants to buy it, he's selling them my contract, and I go, "That's not how it works, jackass." So
Okay, it should work now. Try again, please.
Make money either which way. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's but that's not how you. I mean, can you do business up here like that? Sure,
well, here's what I like to say. I rode on the shoulders of Jimmy Hoffa Jr. when we used to walk with the Teamsters when my mom was getting shut down during the NAFTA strikes. I grew up, in as a blue collar kid, and so when I come out here to Arizona, and we're dealing with people, sometimes the shysters show up, man, but they're like scorpions and rattlesnakes. When they show up, you just You just step on them and keep moving. So,
So this is your cell. I'll text you I should be able to pull it up because every time I go on Maricopa, it's set to pay the tax bill, which is really nothing. It's like $400, I think, for it or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
It actually enters my number and like it's saved. So all I got to do is
Okay.
go on Maricopa and then I'll have it and I'll send it to you.
I appreciate you.
And then anything from there, I mean, like it's got title insurance. I got title insurance. I forgot what company we went through locally there.
Okay.
So you don't got to worry about like liens or anything on that property.
Okay.
There is insurance on it right now from when I bought it, because I bought it from a lady that was in Florida, and I don't know how long she owned it for, if it was, whatever, but she needed to unload it, and I saw an opportunity.
Yeah, no, that's great. So yeah, let me run some stuff together and I'll get back at you.
Sounds good.
I appreciate you. Have a good day, sir.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right. So did you guys were you guys able to hear that, or did I mess that up?
No, we can hear it.
Okay, perfect. So then there you go. Like that's an example of how you call somebody about a piece of property, have a conversation, and go through it. One of the things I did was I used what I learned in nursing called qualifying questions, right? And so when that guy said something to me and I needed to make sure he wasn't full of shit, what I did was it went back to when I was a nurse and somebody would say, "Oh, I have, I'm going to pick on something I don't like. I have fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia is a diagnosis, I understand. But what I need to know is how are you handling your flare ups? And if they don't know what a flare up is, they don't have fibromyalgia from a doctor. They have it from WebMD. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? And so you got to be able to, I don't know, I call it a built in bullshit detector. But when he was like, oh, I build up in Chicago, what I was able to figure out was based on how he was valuing his residential properties, definitely a commercial builder. If he's building for Starbucks and all that stuff like that, when he was talking about how to build this house down here, I'm like, yep, he don't know shit. So never built a residential house in his life, and he's probably, like I said, a hand me down. He's been handed down this property type of thing, and so he just needs to offload it. Good opportunity for us to do some creative financing. I know he's not gonna take 175, so I got from 175 to 300, and I know that there's a few spec builders out there talking to him. Every one of them's like, "I'll pay you when I get the house built." That's the pitch, right? But what I like to do is if I can JV with the guy and be like, here, I'll give you 60%, and that sounds like where he's at right now. I'll give you 60%, pay you the other 40 after I get blueprints and permits. If I can convince him of that, then it's a good deal. To me, that would be a go. So, but I got to wait until I get the APN number. Did we have guests now? Catherine, I went a little over.
Yeah, we had a little technical difficulties, but Kim just popped in. Here she is.
I see Rob down there. I'm not sure if we ran into Rob yesterday. But welcome in Kim. Kim's going to talk to us about reverse mortgages, right?
Yes.
Oh,
But it's a very specialized program, which is really cool.
and reverse mortgages, and if you understand all the different ways capital works, 5 C's: cash, credit, collateral, um, contacts, and contracts. This for me is a contact because if I'm trying to get somebody some funding, and if somebody wants to invest, this is an avenue to go down. So I want to welcome in Kim. I don't know if she's going to come on the screen or not.
She was here and then somehow she dropped off. Rob, you're Kim's partner? Is
Yeah,
that right?
so hi everybody. Nice to meet everyone. I enjoyed
Nice to
listening,
meet
by the
you.
way, Tommy. Um, yes, so I run the reverse purchase division across all of our channels here at Longbridge, and primarily work with builders, residential builders. Pulte is my number one account. I've been working with them for over a decade, working with their affiliate mortgage company, Pulte Mortgage, so that they can offer it. And it's just basically educating. The majority of the people in the country have no idea that this financing exists for 55 and older. So it is age-based. You have to be at least 55 for our proprietary product. And then for the FHA's product, you have to be minimally 62. And what it
Yeah.
does, what it's allowing people to do, you had these are rough numbers, but about 56% of all of the home buyers, which I think was somewhere like a little north of 2.6 million home buyers last year, 56, which is 56% of the overall number, which I think was like 4.7 total, um, were over the age of 55. And out of that, you had roughly speaking 60% of them finance. And how are they financing it? Either financing, how we all know how to finance your traditional mortgage. Most of them, I would go on, I'd say 99.9% of them had no idea that this exists for them. And that's sort of my charter, is working with folks like yourself. I speak at financial advisor associations. I speak obviously with real estate agents and builders across the country. And that's what I've been doing, just to let them know what it is, how it can help them, what the value props are for not only the customer, but equally as important for them. And at the end of the day, it's moving volume for them. It's being able to get people some strategic types of financing, especially at that age. I always say, how many people, if you're over 55 and you're looking to purchase a home, they don't want to put all of their cash inside those four walls, right? Especially with what's going on in the economy. And all of the questions with how expensive everything's getting. How would it be where you're bringing, and I'm giving you guys a broad brush right here, about 60% of the sales price they bring to the table, most of the time that's coming from a departure home sale where they've been. They bring that to the table. That other 40% they keep into their portfolio. And the key is they don't have to make monthly mortgage payments. It's a negative AM loan, is what it is. So that 40%, it's not free, right? It's interest on it that's just paid off either when they sell the home, or if they were to pass away, they sell it. If there's equity left over, the heirs or the estate actually get that. If it's upside down, they don't, that's a non-recourse feature that's built in. So they do not have to pay that back. The heirs or the estate would literally hand over the keys to us because we're the servicer and lender as well, and they walk away from it. So that's very, very, very high level. How this can help a lot of the builders, the real estate agents get additional volume in the door, and those people that would love to move into these homes, love to move into these usually active adult or age targeted communities. They'd love to do it, but they sort of put the brakes on it because of everything I mentioned earlier. They're worried about outliving their funds that they have in their portfolio. This is a good way to mitigate a lot of those customers once it's introduced to them. The problem is, as I said earlier, and I sound like I'm being very redundant, maybe on purpose, no one knows about it. And it's been very difficult sort of to get that word out. Once we do, I mean, we've done surveys of our existing portfolio of clients, and we had about 200 responses, sent it out to about 500 or 600, got 200 responses. 94% of them said they do it again. And it's interesting. Out of our pipeline that I manage every month, it's been accurate. And this statistic I'm about to tell you, just to show how well people like this product, 20% of our pipeline that closes every single month for the last 5 years had an existing reverse mortgage. So they love the product, just not a lot of people know about it. And the real estate agents, most of them, and the builders, and a lot of the executive management teams of these builders that I've talked to that haven't moved forward with it, they think it's what all of you guys probably have heard. Oh, it's a bad loan. The bank owns the home, all those crazy things that, 30, 40 years ago, maybe that might have been true. But with all the regulatory changes and how highly governed it is, it's almost impossible to have a bad loan because it's so highly governed. So that's sort of my job. That's what I do with with our company. And, that is a small segment of our business is the purchase business. We're probably about 5% of the entire industry. Kathy, I think, is on, and I know Kim was on, but that is the refi. And I think Tommy was sort of alluding to, hey, if people want to buy investment properties and they have a boatload of equity in their home, instead of going to the bank, they could take that equity out of that with a reverse. And that might be a way to utilize the funds needed, or a certain amount of those funds needed for investment properties.
Well, and that's exactly the conversation we were having, because Tommy talks about all the C's, right?
Yeah,
Cash, collateral, um,
Credit.
credit, contacts, contracts, and that this is a whole, like, the equity piece of this to be able to
right,
tap into this. And
right,
again, it's the, for my own, like, perfect example of having, you know, $500,000 locked up in my personal house that I can't access.
right,
And if I was able to literally take that and now tap into it, put a put that into actual investments that are generating cash flow,
right,
right? Now, like, that's how we leverage, what I've built over several decades. And now it's like, okay, so now let's actually put to work, make my money work harder for me than I work for it. And so that's the piece that I want people to understand. And I think that a couple of things is that it's going to take some education.
yes,
I actually want to send out some newsletters and stuff. And I know you guys are going to be coming on and teaching pieces of this because,
hmm,
again, like you said, the number one issue is people are just unaware. And how many people have been taught, pay off your house, pay off your house, pay off your house, pay off your house? Like, one of the worst pieces of advice as an investor. Now,
right,
as a consumer, if you're not looking to invest, you're not looking to create multiple streams of passive income to protect your family, like, you literally just want to go down the road that our great grandparents had taught us around the Depression era, of make sure that you own everything, that all of that, like, then stay on that path. However, we're not in the Depression era. And there's smart ways and smart tools like this that they can actually tap into to now take that equity that's in their house, now put it into assets that are actually paying them. Like my fund pays people 20% annually a year, right? So if you take that equity, just think about that. So if we just take, I'm just gonna, like, put it out there. So say you've got $500,000 of equity sitting in your house, right? So 500,000, and you're getting paid 20% annually. I mean, that's $100,000 a year.
yeah,
$100,000 a year of investment income. What could you do with that additional 100,000? And here's what I teach. It's like your earned income is meant to buy assets that provide passive income. Your passive income then pays for your lifestyle, right? But get to 7 streams of passive income. So you do this several times. You take that 100,000, now you put it into another investment. Now you have that 100,000 plus the income from that second investment. Now you take both of those, you put it into a third investment, and you keep going until you are now in 7 investments. Now you have the income from all 7 investments. Now you use that to actually pay for your lifestyle.
right.
And you did that all with being able to tap into this piece with equity. So it's as I understand, it's 55 for people 55 plus, right?
Yes, the proprietary products will go
Yep.
down to 55. Now, that is not in all 50 states, majority of them, because it's state
Okay.
regulated. So each state, because it's private, they have to approve it. Some of the
Right.
states take a long time or don't want it because it's private, but the majority of the states do.
Right.
And we do have in most states.
So I
But
mean, it definitely, yeah,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
it's no, no, no. So I was going to say, so it's not free money. We want to be
No,
really clear about that. It's not winning the lottery. That's not what this is. This is about being financially responsible, right? And using that money, again, if you tap into your equity, you don't go buy a boat. You don't go on vacation. You don't, like, don't do that. Use that income from that you're getting out of that, what you're talking about here, put it into an investment that is actually paying, right? And so, one of the things that we do here in the webinar is use the AI tools to be able to analyze investments as well, right? Tina, no fun. You're so funny. I love you, Tina.
Well,
Yes, you can have
can I
fun,
just
but
jump in real quick, Catherine?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So one of the things that I heard Rob say is this is for people over 55. And then he also gave a scenario regarding like if it's in place when they pass away, the family doesn't have to do anything with it. It's because the receivership is over to the mortgage company, correct?
It's
Yeah.
just, it's a mortgage. It's all it is. It's mortgage.
Right.
And how, this is what I tell everybody. It's just a mortgage. Everyone tries to overcomplicate it. It's just a mortgage. How you pay it back is different.
Right. And so the reason why I mention that is because I'm a registered nurse. One of the most
Hmm.
difficult conversations is end of life with anybody. Anytime you got to discuss end of life with somebody, it triggers a hormone inside of our head. I call it the God hormone, and we realize mortality and all the fun air inside of a hot air balloon goes right out of it, right? Because now you're talking about something serious, permanent, and stuff, and so that really makes it difficult to get through that conversation. However, testimonial wise, when my dad passed away, I would have loved to have the opportunity to be like, here you go, thank you, and if there was anything left in it, they provided it to us or whatever. Because to my understanding, as long as his principal's covered, the rest of the equity goes back to the family or
Correct.
back to the estate.
Correct. They go back,
Yeah,
goes
they
back
can't
to
keep
the
it.
heirs or the estate.
My buddy Roman actually has a business set up where he's like, "Do you have a loved one that passed away? Let us see if there's any extra money." And he's taking 30 to 40% going out, and the first thing he goes for is all the mortgages. And he's
Right.
an MLO, so he knows exactly where to look. And he goes, "Yep, look, there was $250, 250,000 in equity. You and your family get this," and then he takes 40%.
Wow.
Yeah. So because some people do this kind of late in life. Some people aren't doing it at 55. Some of them are doing it at 70, and they're doing it to do what Catherine just said, and that is to pay for their prescriptions, pay for their doctor bills, to
Well,
get
you
out of debt.
you hit
You
the nail
know,
on the head,
yeah,
Tom. What we're seeing it more and more. So think about it. The traditional FHA is still the number one used one, just because it's been around since 1988, right? It's been government regulated since 88. It's been around forever, and it was nothing but refi. Okay. And so everyone knows it. The line of credit growth, if you have strategic folks that you're dealing with and they take out a reverse mortgage and they put a big chunk of what they could get in the line of credit, it grows at the same exact amount as the debt in
right.
perpetuity. Has nothing to do with the value of the home either. It's
No,
crazy.
right,
But what we're finding is exactly what you said. People are now, it's not the needs-based loan that it used to be, and it did. It used to be a needs-based loan. Now, most of those folks wouldn't even be able to qualify for it. So it's more of a strategic planning, financial
right,
planning loan. And a lot of those people are getting the reverse, exactly what you said, for healthcare because of the cost, long-term care. They're
yeah,
scared to death of it. So that's why they're doing it. What I believe from listening to you guys, a really good target audience would be the younger 55 to 65 year
correct,
olds that are still playing the game, and they're in the investment world and they're ready to rock and roll. They can go ahead and leverage tax free, right? They can pull that money out tax free, put it into these investments, and do exactly what you said, Catherine. That's where I think your biggest wheelhouse would be. But
Yep,
for sure.
maybe I'm
absolutely.
wrong.
No, you're dead on, which is why when I talked to Kim about this, I mean, that was the aha moment for me, was like, hold on, like let's take the hard-earned money and the equity that they've put into their home and actually now take it and show them how to have that generating income for them to buy assets. Now we get into the next and next and next, so that now 55, you do this for the next 10 years, even 5 years. You've got 7 streams of passive income. Now, now what do you like inside of that? The benefit of them now having all those passive streams of income to pay for the medical care, to pay for the what ifs, to pay for the, all of that. Like that's so important. Tina actually asked a really great question. She says, is this a HELOC conversation? Tina, this is different than the HELOC. So Rob, this is really great. Can you go over, and again, we're using this as education so people can understand this, because my whole thing is, and Tommy talks about this, cash, collateral, contracts, contacts, and what did I miss? I missed one of the
Cash,
C's.
collateral, credit,
Seven.
contracts, and contracts.
Credit. So, but this is a whole other piece of it that people can tap into to be able to invest. Again, this is about investing. This isn't about like consumer spending. Invest in assets that are actually generating cash flow. Tina's in several of our investments, so she gets it and understands. So if you could explain the difference between HELOC and then what you're talking about, this is actually really interesting.
Yep, 100%. By the way, Catherine, is Kim or Kathy Soto on?
So yeah, Kathy is here. I've tried to bring her on several times and she keeps declining. I'm not sure what's happening. And then Kim, her Zoom decided at the last minute needs to update. Super awesome Zoom.
Well, the reason I asked is, remember what I said earlier. I have been in the purchase world of reverses for the last 14 years solely. So I understand. And prior to that, I was your traditional managing what we're talking about, right? So I'm just letting you know, Kathy is still in it every day with mainly doing nothing but, there she is anyway. So what a reverse is, and what we're talking about is, instead of a HELOC, you get a traditional HELOC. What the challenges are, probably not with your audience, but a lot of the challenges are that people can't even get the HELOCs anymore in this age demographic because of their income, right?
Yeah.
And or they don't want to get a HELOC because they don't want to have this additional cost. Right. And how much can they get? And the HELOC can be, if it goes bad for the banks, it can be called any second. They can freeze your credit line, all that stuff. So the difference with the reverse is it's not a second lien. It would be a first lien on the home where you can access cash. And yes, it's a reverse mortgage. You can access however much they have in equity, whatever, and however old they are. The older they are, the more we can lend to them, which means the more they're going to have access to.
Fascinating.
So the older it's all based off of how old how long your life expectancies. It's what it's based off of, just like insurance product. It's very similar. And so the older you are, the more we will lend. And once we lend that to them, and the key to it, Tina, is to Catherine's example, that I could get $500,000. I have $1 million home. It's been paid off. There's nothing there. I can get I'm making it up, 500 grand tax free. They will not have to make a mortgage payment on that money that they now have forever if they didn't want to. They could pay it off a week later if they wanted to, and there's no prepayment penalty. They could make mortgage payments if they wanted to. You're just more in control. I look at it as, now that customer's home, that customer that took the money out, monetized that equity, can now play with the investment, put it into investments. They don't have to make money payments on it. As these investment, and you start going to one investment, then the next investment, like you were talking about, Catherine, and they start seeing now the revenue coming in, they have the money. If they want to go ahead and pay that off, sure, go for it. They can do whatever they want with it, but they never have to make that payment until they either sell the home or they were to pass away. That's when the mortgage is paid off.
Yeah.
That's how it works. And again, that is super high level. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole and get technical, but I think for this conversation, I think we're keeping it fairly high level just so you understand the opportunity from the perspective of being able to access cash to invest. And this is a really
Exactly.
good way for that 55, I think 55 to 65, but hell, we run across 75, 80-year-olds that are still wheeling and dealing. And
Yep.
this would be a really good way for many of them to do it. As a matter of fact, I am not hands-on privy to it, but a lot of the discussions I have with MLOs out there, they have people now doing that more and more. We are seeing it more and more where people that they're financially set, but they're like, well, hell, why not just pull from what I have? It's tax free and I don't have the obligations of a payment. And let me start throwing it into some of these additional investment opportunities. And that's what they're doing. The more strategic ones. That's what
Yep.
they're doing. So I hope that covered what you were looking for, Catherine.
Yeah, and I want to do more educating around this because people are unaware that this is available to them.
No idea.
And then they're like, wait, it's risky. What
Right.
if? La la la
Right.
la. And it's like, hold on. This literally was designed to help you be able to leverage. And this is, to me, this is a piece of like, we all know that school, college, whatever, never educated us on financial literacy, right? And because of that, the financial literacy that's missing, like this is what we're bringing to the table. This is a piece of financial literacy, understanding that there's tools. And again, so yesterday, this is actually comical. Multiple people that I had shared that over this last couple of weeks have come to me. Like one of my friends I spoke with, he literally speaks on stages tens of thousands of people. And years ago, I gave him one piece of homework, which is really funny. And I feel honored that he took my homework and actually did it. And it's to read the book Who Not How, right?
Mm.
And that book, he now shares it from stage and gives me credit for. I didn't write the book. I just gave him the homework. The book is Who Not How by Dan Sullivan. And the point being is that it changed the course of my businesses forever, his as well. And so, Rob, you, Kim, Kathy are the who's that know how inside of this conversation, right? Of how to actually access that capital that's available. Again, because it takes out as a loan. I want everybody to understand this. When you take it out as a loan, again, it's tax free. So we're going to have you guys come on more and
Yeah.
do smaller segments of this. We have some deals we need to run, but super excited to have you guys here. And I want to include this inside of our newsletter and things like that. So we're going to
Yep.
have more of these conversations. And again, have you guys come on more and be teaching snippets of this so that people really can
Absolutely.
get the bite-sized piece.
100%. I know you're working with Kim directly. I work with Kim directly, and then Kathy, Kim, and I, whenever you need us to come on and do some trainings, we're all there.
So
Hi,
we're
you guys.
deeply
It's
grateful.
Kathy.
So thank you. Thank you, Kathy. So
Yes,
we're
I'm
wrapping
so
this
sorry.
up.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I've been having like issues. I think because we work mainly on Teams, and so Zoom was giving me some hard times.
No worries. Well,
So
we'll do this again. Yeah, we'll bring
Yeah.
your
yeah,
whole team
definitely.
on
I
and
definitely want to do that again. So to echo kind of like what Rob, like he is the godfather of reverse for purchase. So if there's anything that anyone needs to know on that part of it, but I've got to be honest with you, in listening to you, Catherine, and how you were talking about the 7 streams and everything. This is such a huge opportunity, not only for whoever's on here to learn about how reverse can help them or any of any of their circle of influence, but also how this can also benefit our customers that want to leverage, like what you just said, at 55 or 60 at 65, and create additional revenue streams, etc., that are just sitting on that equity, right? And that want to enhance as far as like their lifestyle, or elevate as far as their retirement. So I'm really excited to continue on these segments, and really leverage, from
I'm
all
going to
of
buy
us.
that. I know we're wrapping up, Catherine. I just want to let you know I'm looking at Who Not How. I'm going to buy it and read it.
good. Please do. That's your homework.
Who
Everybody
Not How?
go read Who Not How by Dan Sullivan.
Yeah, I'm looking right at it. Okay.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Thanks,
Okay.
everybody. I look forward to
Thank
seeing you
you.
guys again.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, don't
Sorry,
go nowhere.
Tom.
We're gonna just we're gonna look at a couple other things.
Oh, okay.
We've got a couple deals to run, and as a matter of fact, I'm gonna use like the scenario of the reverse mortgage to kind of help me do that.
Okay.
So we have we use GPT a lot for many things, and a lot of people they go to GPT and they just open a new chat and have a discussion with it, and I call that my personal counselor. I mean, I can go there and just start talking like it says, where should we begin? Claude does the same thing. I said, good morning, what's cooking, Tommy? Like Claude's got more personality to me than ChatGPT does, right? But what we've done is I've gone in and I've trained ChatGPT to do certain things. And one of the things that it does this thing called Deal Hunter by Landshark. And inside of Deal Hunter by Landshark, we can do something as simple as like I showed you before, where I put in the information and it was just a screenshot from somebody. It was a land deal that we're going to try and track down. And so off of this land deal right here, I just got that information off of putting in run this deal. And what
Huh.
it does some due diligence for us, but it's also got some knowledge built into it around the five C's, like we talk about within inside of capital. And so what I encourage you guys to do over there in that realm, get into this chat GPT and have conversations with it about it before you get on the phone with customers about the properties they have. And so I just want to see if it's smart. And since you're the godfather at these things, Rob, I want you to validate what it's saying, of course, you know.
I don't know about
So
that. I'll take it.
we are exploring the opportunity with a client who is at 57 years old, ready to start investing. They want to use the equity inside their house, and they're trying to decide between a home equity line of credit or going with a reverse mortgage on their property. And so, what I'd like you to do is go ahead and break down what those look like for my client and how that might work out for them, and how they might be able to move forward and invest their equity into projects like Titan 23 has. And so, inside of this, one of the things that we do here inside the Landshark Mastermind, this webinar you guys are on right now, is people like Tina and Katya and Blake and Amor and Tracy and all these other members. We get together, we talk about how to do real estate investments, but then we do them as well. And so having the tools and essentials necessary for us to do that. One of them is inside of that. One of them is like this free estimates. Free estimates helps fix and flippers and rehabbers figure out budgets on doing a fix and flipper rehab. One of the other things we have is tax mitigation programs where we help people with their taxes if they have capital gains get into opportunity zones, and we run those case studies with them. So it sounds like with what you guys are doing within and inside of reverse mortgages, that you could possibly even integrate some of this AI into it to help your clients understand the benefits that they could gain from getting into into these. So side by side comparison. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
It says here that a reverse mortgage isn't available until age 62.
Nah, that's not true.
Um,
Oh, there it is. Proprietary
it says
product.
here, it says
Yeah.
proprietary product
Mhm.
may be possible.
Yep.
Is that true?
That's
Yes.
true.
Okay. So again, it's very thorough. I just want to be sure. I want to be clear that
Yep.
like if there's any chance that there's a case of ambiguity, it's going to err on the side of caution before it errs on the side of error.
Got it. Gotcha.
Right. And so inside of that, qualifications, the age, equity, property, occupancy. If you just scan through that, you guys can see that screen. Is there anything there that doesn't sound legit?
Access to funds, lump sum line, no. Effect on
Mhm.
equity, debt balance generally grows, which is true. Primary resident requirement. Yes, that is true. It must be your primary that you're pulling from.
Yes.
Right.
Best fit, retirement cash flow planning rather than aggressive investing. Main risk, compounding balance fees, reduced inheritance. Compounding balance fees, the reduced inheritance, but that's arguable.
Right.
And future housing flexibility.
We
That's arguable.
we say defensible. We say defensible. Anything that we see in here, we say, okay, we can defend against this. Let's
There you
talk
go.
about it. Right.
That's right. No, that for the most part, Tommy, that's on point.
Okay. So here it gives us the HELOC now, right? and then says, here's the proprietary reverse mortgage now, right? This is the stuff you guys are talking about. And then inside of that, there's the wait till 62 to do it path. And it did all of this just with that one little prompt about, what I might be able to do with it.
It's
Type
crazy.
23
Wow.
diligence standard, and it describes inside of what we do with Titan 23. It's going to provide with a go, no go, proceed only when true. These are all your red flags. These are your no go signals, backup funding and exit strategies, and what the next questions you need to be asking. As part of one of the hardest things inside of healthcare that I had to learn was to ask the right questions. It wasn't about the fact that I didn't know the answer. I needed to know, if I needed to know the answer, I needed to know the right question asked to get the right answer I needed, right?
Right.
So inside of working in healthcare, I jump over to doing development. I go to the county and I say, what do I need? And I get very specific. What do I need to build a 3-story parking garage that'll cash flow? And they go, their heads are just on a bobble, like they were a toy given away at a baseball game to the first 10,000 visitors. Like they had no idea what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So two different worlds, that happens that way. So
Right.
learning, I built into this how to ask the next right question. So inside of this, what I want to do is I want to ask it. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and understand this is a proprietary plan. We're going to take path 2 with this client, and what we're going to do is we're going to just do a little case study. They have about $700,000 in equity in their house. They are looking to retire in 3 years. They want to be done working at age 60. So they're setting themselves up for this retirement now, and they're doing so by using this equity. Go ahead and build a case study, and then let's plan on taking whatever you come up with as the option. We want to invest that into the Titan 23 fund and put them into oil and gas, and the RV resort, and give them equity position in those, and then have like 30% left over for private money lending to some of the other projects that the flipping females are doing. And so what I did there was, instead of a very short run this deal 3-word thing, I gave it a large language model, because again, now I want it to explore I want it to go to the inner depths of its knowledge base and start pulling all that together to then come up with a robust case study that I can give to the client that relates to the client. And we can even go a step further inside of Catherine has the ability to create these client avatars that will literally speak directly to your client and answer the questions that they have before they even know they have them. So, because you're able to build that into that. So, inside of this, it shows us how we would be able to do this. And we are running tight on time, but I thought I would just share with you the abilities that this tool has.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Say again?
That is wild.
Yeah. Well,
It's crazy how you just did that in 30 seconds, basically.
Right.
It's phenomenal.
so, and again, ready for this. Here's the phenomenal part. This is proprietary. However, you're able to use it. This is free to everybody. As long as you have the plus, the $20 version you pay for, you can literally go get this. We'll put the link in the chat. Catherine, do you have the link by any
Yep.
chance?
Yep.
I'm trying to find it.
So I've played with Chat GPT, but I don't pay
He didn't play
anything.
with this.
Yeah,
So,
Rob,
no,
we'd have to. Oh, so we'd have to get the plus added
the
to it.
plus. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, pay
Okay.
the 20. I tell you right now, here's the way I rationalize spending that money. When I talk to ChatGPT without the paid version, the free version, it's like talking to somebody that has a 90 IQ. That's not bad, but they're just, they're just probably as smart as I am, right? And so, however, I only get short incremental conversations with them, and they turn into 10-second Tom, forgetting everything eventually,
Right.
right? So if I pay the $20 version, I now get a best friend who's with me 24/7. I can talk to him at any time about anything, about anyone. It's confidential to that extent. And I don't have to run out of time talking to him. And his IQ level went to 120, which means that now I'm on a race to catch up to him. Right.
Okay.
And so then the pro version is mind blowing. It's the top level. It's 150 IQ points, 180 IQ points. Never stops working. It literally is like a
On a-
hyperbolic human brain that you're able to work with. So
Right.
we love all levels of it to get us there. But what works best for this is the pro version or the plus version. And the plus version allows you to run these deals. You can do what's called starting a project folder, and inside of that project folder, you're able to just have all these scenarios ready and at your fingertips for any time you need it. Plus, here's the other kicker: at the end of them, we put a little call to action so that people that are working with us will get or using this will get called to come to this podcast and hang out and talk with us and share what they have. So
That's
it's
wild.
turned into a lead generator for us, and it works with clients as well. So it makes us kind of look like the expert at what we're doing without actually having to do all the expert work. So
Did you take a class, Tommy, on how to get up to speed on Chat GPT Plus?
I wrote classes on how to get this way. So
Oh, jeez. Okay.
So we
well,
knew.
that's the
So
thing.
Rob,
Like
we need to
I've
attend
been
his
on
class.
ChatGPT. I was on ChatGPT when it was beta, and
Ah,
I got a certificate that I was 100. ChatGPT was 120 days old when I got my membership. The reason why it was 120 days old is because that's when they shut off beta and forced us to go to ChatGPT 2.0. But I was already on OpenAI. It wasn't ChatGPT yet back when it was just a beta.
I see. Okay.
So learning how to use projects, how to extend chats, how to build, because each one of these you can see on my screen over here, each one of these things pinned over here are models that we built and we call them models on ChatGPT. On Claude we call them agents. And so depending on where you're at, if you don't know about ChatGPT Marketplace, companies like Expedia, um, um, what's the other one? Travelocity, Hotels.com,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
all starting to use this
Here.
because
So
this
you
is
guys should
replacing
be
Google.
here. Yeah. And this is one of the other things we do. We actually white label and build these out for companies so that they can get it. So it's interesting is like just to give you a hilarious example, if you Google the name Catherine Bell, the
Mhm.
actress comes up. If you chat GPT the name Catherine Bell, I come up.
Uh,
Right. Yeah.
So
So
being on in AI, having your company be in AI, having you be in AI, all of a sudden, and now it understands like you're the reference point that it
Mhm.
needs to be. I didn't pay for any marketing or advertising for that to happen. I just use it all the time. Like my
ah,
clone, CatherineBell.ai, you can go talk to her. She's had over 118,000 conversations with different investors and people understanding. Like it would be very powerful for you guys to have a clone of yourself. We can show you how to do that so that people could have a safe place to go ask these questions and not feel judged or feel stupid. And that's the number one reason people won't make the call because they don't want to feel stupid,
Correct.
right? So
Right.
by having an AI clone, my AI, and this is just what people have told me. They love talking to her because they'll never feel stupid talking to her.
right.
So I
It,
can go on there, Catherine, and I can go
Go
have
talk to her.
a conversation. Okay.
Yeah. And it says talk or text, do the talk. And
Okay.
my kids tell me it's creepy because it's my voice, it's my personality, all the things, but it is profound. It literally is my personality and decades of experience, knowledge, wisdom, investing, business, all of it, where literally literally have hundreds of conversations with her.
And you've built her or because
Yep.
of the data that okay.
No,
Okay.
I built her and
well, you
that's
add
you
you
do
add
this
the
for
data,
companies.
you add the data in, you have conversations with it,
Yeah.
you work with it. Like
um,
inside of Deal Hunter, I gave it, for example, the 2018 International Building Code book that I use as a general contractor. I gave it that book so it understood what we're trying to, what parameters to work within, and that's the beautiful part of the LLM is that it can consume all that information and provide you information out of it that fast. And depending on what speed you put it at, whether it's a 4.5 or a 5.5. So it'll go get that information. But then when you add to it our experience, it's got this, tangible book that it's pulling information from, but then it's also got over 600 hours of conversation built into it from me that it's now comparing to the book and saying, here you go. And it's
Hmm.
doing that at light speed. Like you're not even able to
What
test how,
what
clock how fast it works.
how do you guys determine whether you're going to use ChatGPT Plus or Claude? Is there any
So
reason?
Claude doesn't do any customer facing interface or dashboards yet.
Ah,
And just like I did with you right here with Deal Hunter, it's a dashboard. And I was going to pull up show everybody where we were yesterday, but this is for example, this is a GPT for a client we did that's with a jet chartering company. They switch here. Come on. The jet charter company came in and they said, "Hey, we want to streamline and AI our jet company." And so here we built this out for her. She brokers jets, and so clients can use this, or she can use this, or her team can use this. And that's GPT. Whereas on Claude is just me. That's it.
I see.
That's it.
I see. I
And
see.
so I can get the bigger version of Claude that I can then go into to work share with. But I haven't figured out how to make an agent or a front facing consumer side that
Right.
then works with me directly
I gotcha.
the way the
Okay.
way that GPT does. Then
I
there's
got
then there's Gemini. Ready for this?
yeah.
We'll give them
I
the other one, Catherine.
I played around
Gemini.
with that one too.
You know Gemini. Are you familiar with Gemini Notebook?
No.
All right. Hold on one second.
Tommy, everything I've done with AI is so high level, you probably laugh at it, but I use it all the time, but it's super high level, like info and doing some due diligence and getting all my ducks in a row. I use it for that, but as far as functionally like you're doing it, I've never really used it.
we teach you how to do this stuff. We teach
This
you how to do this
this is
stuff.
amazing. Yeah,
Here,
this is
this is called Notebook LM or Gemini. Gemini just took over Notebook LM, so it's going to be Gemini Notebook for a while. But long story short, you're given three categories. You can apply sources to it, and when you put your sources to it, it can be anything. What I'm doing is this is building a educational platform for myself, and inside of that, what I'm doing is I'm adding documents, PDFs, PowerPoints, etc. I can add videos here. I can add websites here. I can add whatever I want. Put all those sources in there, and then tell it I need to understand this better. So it starts breaking it down for me. But if I really want to get funky with it, I can tell it to create a variety of things, everything from a mind map, which kind of lays out my plan in a visual way that kind of makes sense to people as I explain it to them. I can step by step throw it at them, right? Instead of it being a fire hose. I've got the ability it'll make me a video, an explainer video. Actually, there's a variety of videos that it'll make.
Good
Right here
Lord.
in video overview, I can do a cinematic, an explainer, a short. And then if I want to really get crazy with it, I might put a book in here. Go get Who Not How by Dan Sullivan. Put it in here and say, hey, create an audio overview. This is my favorite one. It literally acts like a podcast. They're tearing the book apart like two people on a podcast. And here's the best part: I get to interact with it and say, "Hey, I like what you said about this part. Can you explain a little bit more?" And it will.
That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's insane.
It's
22
insane.
minute podcast. I can sit here and listen to this while I'm working.
That you are incredibly good at your job. Like, let's say you're an absolute master at installing.
I was trying to meet stop. Anyway, it can sit here and play while I'm working, and it'll tell me everything I need to know about either stuff I've created or stuff I need to know about moving in, right? So
Hmm.
people tell me to use these things. I can probably take I don't know, 7 hours and read Dan Sullivan's books cover to cover. And
Right.
that's how I read. That's how I would read. Or I can do it in 22 minutes and collect and contain just as much information. And then if there's anything I want to deep dive more, I can still do that. Right.
Wow.
So pretty,
Powerful
so
is what it is.
when you
Very
said
powerful.
GPT or Claude or Gemini, buddy, I use them all. Depends on what I'm doing. It's kind of like I have a boot fetish. If you don't know me, I'm kind of a freak about cowboy boots. But I don't wear them all to do the same thing. Some of them go out dancing, some of them go out bull riding, some of them go out and kick shit. So,
Right.
but not every one of them is doing the same thing every time, right?
Got it. Got it.
So
Awesome
definitely that.
stuff.
But real quick, before we wrap up, I wanted to because Catherine made it sound absolutely horrible. Going like not horrible, traumatic or dramatic. But here's our
Wasn't
office in
traumatic.
Scottsdale, and so if we fly by the way of Google, to the site, let me get rid of that. If we had a helicopter yesterday, it would have looked like this.
It was
Um,
an adventure, and a helicopter would have been better. Yes.
That's basically what it would have been. Flying up and flying out all the way to the middle of nowhere, like she said.
Even you're admitting it was in the middle of nowhere.
We started way over here in that corner and went all the way over there. And then as I'm doing my due diligence this morning, because I'm really excited to do some work out here for the guy. I went on our county assessor's website to kind of just map it out, make sure I was in the right spot. And look at here, Catherine. Look at. Did you see
Yep, there it is. There's the pickleball court in the middle of nowhere.
it? Right there.
Nowhere. Do you guys all agree? Literally nowhere. Google
How was
Earth
it? Who
agrees.
put it there?
I know.
Put who
So,
put the pickleball court there?
it is going to be the Desert Retreat resort, and the Desert Retreat resort is led by Kyle, good guy, big philanthropist, entrepreneur kind of guy, and he loves the game pickleball, and he wants to build a resort out there. So he's like, you know what?
Ah,
I want to build. So yesterday we went out there. I'm a builder. So, and as a matter of fact, I built a resort style facility very close to this place, right over here. I can probably pull it up. Scoot out to it. Where to go?
that's crazy. He built the pickleball court first, and then's going to build the resort
Because
around it.
here's
Exactly.
what's hilarious. So he's out there and he's building this resort, right? Like he's like hands-on doing it himself, and he got bored and he loves to play pickleball. So he literally built a
Ah,
pickleball court so that he wouldn't be bored, and then he invites people to come play.
I'll
You
be
have to
That's
get
damned.
up at 3 o'clock in the
hilarious.
morning to get out there
Yeah.
because you have to play at like 6 in the morning because it's 100
Right,
and holy crap here.
right, right.
But playing pickleball as the sun was coming up in the middle of the desert was super cool.
That is cool.
And
Yeah.
it was funny. So we're playing pickleball, and literally there's all these like cattle that are like going through the desert by us. I mean, it was like it was a very
That is a
surreal
one of a
experience.
kind. Only there does that exist from a
Yeah,
pickleball court
Exactly.
perspective
yes.
Talk
in the
about
country.
an ultimate destination for the pickleballer, right?
Yeah. And that's what we're thinking. Like talk about a cool destination.
Wild.
By the way, while Tommy's pulling that up,
Yeah.
I put the link to the Deal Hunter Chat GPT in the chat for you guys. So you
Oh.
literally can take that, and then when you open it, there's a little carrot. You just click on the carrot and you can pin it to your sidebar so that you always have it
Okay.
there.
Yeah. Okay.
So out here, this was a off-roading resort that we built out. 2024, we had it 50% built out. We had the well in, we had a we had a shop built out there, we had the outhouse built. You can see the remnants of a head gate right there, but this was a off-roading track, and then we had our camp spots laid out, and then we had some RVing spots out here. It was more of a boondocking operation, but we had full services, water, utilities, everything out there. and again, in the middle of nowhere,
Wow.
right? So, and that guy, his thing was off-roading and having a gun range. And we had a really nice shooting range set up. That was right here. You can see this horseshoe, oops, the horseshoe here. This
Yeah.
was the gun range area right here.
Uh,
So,
long range?
yeah, well,
Oh, wow.
500 feet
Holy wow.
to 1,000 out. So we could go all the way out to this
Wow.
here.
That is
So,
awesome.
but yeah,
We,
it was
we
a,
don't have
so
that where I live, that kind of stuff. You
No.
guys are lucky.
here's one of the best parts about this place out here was this rail line. You can see on both sides of the rail line that there's a defined trail, and then right next to the rail line are the
Towers.
towers, the power
Yeah.
girders.
Yeah.
The power girders have a road next to them as well. So we
Yeah.
had three different lanes of travel, small, medium, large. From I would say kind of like the blue triangles to the double diamonds, if you want to call it like a skiing type of thing. But
Damn.
and they were for 84 miles. So if I back out of here, that rail line goes for 84 miles this way out into the middle of nowhere.
Wow.
So and so where that guy's at with what he's doing, you know, it works for what he's going to be trying to get accomplished out there. It'll be amazing. And I'm in full support of it. I want to get it done. I want to help him do it. So
That's awesome.
for sure.
That is
So,
fabulous.
but there's a lot of enterprise already out there as well. And there's a lot of cool history out here. As a matter of fact, I think there's a place called Point of Rocks around here that you can actually see the ruins of a ancient society out in these mountains right here.
What?
So a lot of cool stuff in this area. So that's the thing. And then here's the lava flows, and you can see the lava flows uh, and how the area was actually built out. So
Jeez.
road is
That's cool.
connected. The roads are all connected out there from centuries past. There's people that live out there and still do stuff. Like I believe that's a mining operation right there. Yeah, it looks like a mining crew. So they're
That's
out
all
there.
Maricopa County? That's
Yeah,
what
this
that
is
is?
all Maricopa County right here.
Wow.
So,
That's
um,
crazy. That's
but
awesome.
yeah, and so again, these are the things like the type of mortgage you guys are offering is really good for this type of project because of the fact that banks won't lend for these types of projects. They'll be like, "What are you doing? Where?" And because they don't want to get on a side by side, come out here and do an appraisal or do a repossession or asset recovery. They're like, "Nope, we're not going to lend you any money for that. Nope, not
Right.
gonna happen. Nope." And
It's
so they
another, I
don't.
look at it like it's another arrow in the quiver, right? It's
Right.
another option for many people, depending on who you're talking to that are over 55, to
Right.
look at, right?
Yep. And it gives them that opportunity to maybe come out and live out a dream out here. Here's an example of what I was saying, telling Catherine yesterday. Um, out in the old west, they had ghost towns like this. You can kind of see the
Huh,
aerial of it a little bit. But these are old rail line depots where they would fill up the steam engines with water, and so these go for every 15 to 20 miles, maybe 25 miles. They'll have one because that's how long it took to run through the water, and
wow.
so you just follow those along, and you'll run into another one here and there.
That's
This one here is the one that was out by our place. Um, there was one that collapsed up here. And then there's another one up this way called Dixie. And then as you move into town, you can still find them. As a matter of fact, when the highway comes through, we've been talking about this one. This is a spot that's going to be expanding extensively because of the highway that's coming through. This is all going to be State Road 30. And you can
hmm,
kind of see they're doing some pretty big projects out there in that area already. So, but one of the
Buckeye.
things,
I've been to Buckeye.
yeah, this is actually outside of Goodyear. One of the things that I wanted to point out, if you looked at the last spot I showed you, it's right along the railroad tracks, but there's those two buildings and then there was two houses. There's a house and there's a house. And as a matter of fact, inside of this building right here, there's actually a train depot where people used to get in and on and off of it back in the 1850s and the 1900s. So
Crazy.
this is a train depot just like the one that's 50 miles away out in the desert.
Cool
So,
stuff.
yeah, a lot of cool stuff like that. As a developer, I look for these things and I go, this is the direction we want to be. Because look, where we were just at, there was desert, washes, stuff like that. But now these all have houses. Amazon's building right here, and there's Goodyear Airport,
Ah,
right? And so the same thing's happening up here in Surprise right now. You go out here in this area out here, Surprise, same thing. Houses are starting to pop up.
we've done a few. I've done a few in Surprise.
Yeah,
Reverse purchases. Yep.
yeah. Here's the old airport. So, and so ready for this? This is proof. Like that airport's right there, but then you got where's Surprise? So there's Luke Air Force Base right there. Surprise, the city of Surprise has their city center on an old World War II base. There's an old airport right here.
Huh.
And so as you can see, boom, around those old airports, the land got cheap, developers moved in. This is what we look for. So look right here. Same triangle, not all
Ah,
the houses yet. Time to get to work. Because it's coming. It's coming. They're
that's how
spreading out this way.
Mesquite, isn't that sort of how Mesquite, or that's Nevada. I'm sorry. Or you're in Arizona. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Arizona.
So another triangle right there. Like these triangles are in a lot of spots out here. So if you follow those triangles, but this is the area where they say this is the Bill Gates Bill Gates. There's Bill Gates subdivision right there.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
City here.
Yeah. So this is all going to be built out just like this one was, and then just like this one was. Just go where
Wow.
all the red lines are and see what they did. Right. So this will be a red line very soon.
Crazy.
So
Get in on them early. Sounds like
yeah.
that's what you're trying to do or what you're doing.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 30 years, so this is what I do best, and guiding people that direction. That's the goal. Hey, you want to be, if you want to know where to be where, be where everybody else ain't. And if that guy is out here where that little blue dot is, like that's he's moved away far enough where it'll be 2 lifetimes before they catch up.
Right.
Right. But if you want to get pure sunlight and good, good dark skies and not have foggy bullshit over you and stuff like that, then like this is the place to be out here in this area. So
Jeez
uh,
Louise.
and you can get away from it all for a little bit. Play pickleball in the middle of nowhere. So
It was fun. It was an
Yeah,
extreme
yeah.
amount of fun.
but we got a couple other things to cook on today. I appreciate everybody coming in. I'm gonna wrap it up with a prayer if you all don't mind. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the blessing of this day and the blessing of the life that you've given to us. We ask that you bring all the people that you brought together today out to go and do your will. And it's in your son's name that we ask this and pray. Amen.
Amen.
So everybody have a wonderful day. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock, and I appreciate everybody coming in.
See you
Thanks,
guys
guys.
tomorrow.
Thank you guys.